We respectfully request the Sangha grave virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung tín đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhờ thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chiến diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đắc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đàn Thổ Sư Chế Đô Ye A La Hờ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xế. Nam mô Thác Đắc Tha Tu Dạ Đà Dạ La Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and natural principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian wan jie nan zhao yu. 我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Jing Liang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns and all good advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大师、师父上人、各位出家人、各位上智sư Mỹ Tổ Phổ. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Thượng Tiến Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện sĩ Thích Ca Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 20th of December 2024. We mount to lecture on the prologue, door number 2, store and the teachings containing it. It's kind of scholarly, but let's bear with it because it gives you good background information. And in particular, do not have the bad attitude. When I was studying Buddhism, I first studied Buddhism. We always thought Mahayana is the real deal and Hinayana is not really Buddhism. And I was so wrong. Okay? It's all Buddhism. It's just different degrees of Buddhism, that's all. All right. Also, tonight is Chanchi night as well. So if you have any questions, any concerns about your cultivation, now's the time to bring them up. Anyone has any issues, worries? Yes, 3.
As a thầy, con không have questions about the chant, but I do have a question about fasting. Is it okay?
Yeah.
I know that when you're fasting, you cleanse your body, But someone say that it's increase the samadhi too. Is it right? Thank you, Thầy.
When you fast, what?
When fasting, you cleanse your body. But beside that, you increase your samadhi too.
You punish the body? Huh?
You cleanse your body. C-L-E-A-N, cleanse.
Cleanse the body.
Yeah.
Well, when you fast, yes, you're cleansing your body because you're basically stopping taking in toxins. And therefore, your body has a chance to recover faster. Okay, what happens to us is every day we eat and we bring in a lot of toxins, and they cause problems to our body. So part of our work is to undo the damage before we can do anything else. So when you fast, you skip that process, okay? And you can go directly into healing your body, and that's the secret behind it. Your body will get healthier and stronger before you can improve.
So is it increase your samadhi too?
Increase samadhi too? I don't know. What do you think? Does it increase your samadhi? I haven't fasted for a long, long time. Last few days I ate about this much of a sandwich. So I have very low in energy. So I don't think it increases my samadhi power at all, to be honest with you. Okay. You're trying to understand too much. You can ask, but we tend not to tell you. Because we tell you, then you ask a follow-up question, and you dig deeper and deeper and deeper, and I have come up with more, have to reveal more secrets. And then pretty soon, they all know about fasting. Yes, anyone else? 7.
Thank you, Master. I was out for a few days because I came down with a cold, and I felt pretty miserable, and I thought, gee, I haven't been sick in quite a while. I didn't get sick during the pandemic, and, what is this? So I just was like pretty out of it, I'd say, for 2 days. And last night, my husband and I went to hear some high school kids sing some Christmas songs at a concert. And I'm sitting there, and all these kids are so enthusiastic, and they're just really singing their hearts out. And I just started thinking, I'm really sick, and I'm tired of this. And I have a lot to do before Christmas, and a lot depends on me doing it. No one else is going to do it. Not to mention Christmas Eve lunch at the temple. So I don't have any time to waste. So I got to do something. And I don't know if it was the inspiration of all these kids singing or all the energy or what was going on. But all of a sudden, I just decided that I would use, I forgot, what number is that? Number 6 from, our 42. But I didn't do it like I would normally do it, like when I recite in the morning and I do my mantras. I didn't do it like that. This time, I just decided to go at it. And of course, I'm sitting in the audience. I can't do anything with my hands. I can't say anything out loud. But in my head, I just decided I would just start going for it. All of a sudden. And I just started okay, I'm going to get you guys. And I just started like mentally, like bam, 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 like really going. And I gotta tell you, I started feeling better. I'm like, what? And then the kids were all like so enthusiastic. They were so happy singing all these holiday songs. And I'm like killing something. I'm like, I'm feeling stronger and stronger. And every time I kept doing it, I felt better. So I thought, oh, this is kind of crazy because I never did it this way. I never did the 42 this way. I always just did it, like we were doing in the group and General Assembly, our great assembly, we all do it together. I just kind of did it, but I never did it. So then I thought, wow, this is kind of exciting, because I started getting peppier, and I thought, oh, am I fooling myself? I mean, I'm starting to really feel better. Oh, okay, well, just tell myself, calm down. And then in the morning when I woke up, and then all of a sudden before I went to bed, I said, okay, I don't want anything to attack me while I sleep tonight, okay? So I just said, okay, guys, do it all night long. I don't care. I have to sleep because I wasn't sleeping through the night. I got up, coughed, blah, 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 blah. So now this time I said, okay, we're not going to do that. I'm going to sleep really good. I'm going to attack all night long. So I guess that's what I did, because I had a really good night's sleep. And when I woke up, I was getting ready in the morning, and I was in the shower, and I said, okay, I can do it here, right? So I'm just doing it, and all of a sudden I imagined that I just grabbed whatever was in my chest, I dragged it out, and I started pounding it. I seriously pounding it. And then all this stuff, I coughed up all this junk. And then I was like, oh, God. And that's why I'm here today. Thank you, Master.
And you felt good.
Oh, yeah. And I felt better. I just want to let you know.
And your husband was in the room?
No, I slept in a different bedroom because I kept him up all the night before, so. I just thought you'd like to know. Of course, do you think I told him all this? He'll think I'm really, la, 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 la.
Yeah, he's going to have to deal with some angry customers. The problem, we beat them up. Where are they going? Not here.
Where'd they go? Your husband. Do you think?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Depends. Be careful.
Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. But aren't I supposed to, bam, 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 bam?
But it's fun anyways. It doesn't matter.
It was a lot of fun. I was really shocked, so.
Yeah. This is what happens. Well, you're in trouble. That's when you look at your tool bags and search and see, what can I do here? Okay, the problem, the nature of my obstruction is the throat. I can't speak Dharma. It's not like it's cancer or anything. It's just that the throat hurts. And if I can't speak Dharma, then you really can't get the sudden teaching. So that's a nature of the karmic obstructions. Okay, and last night I overreacted. I cranked up a little bit more than I should have. So the whole night I was wide awake. Had maybe at max an hour of sleep in 24 hours. And but it's by doing that, I realized, I didn't have to do that. It has side effects on others as well. So I came back last night and looked at it, brute force is not the solution. So I figured out how to fix it. See, I'm not coughing anymore, at least for now. Knock on wood. Be humble, folks. You never know. But that's part of the fun of cultivation. And you run into challenges, obstructions, and you figure out. And that's how you get better. Anyone else? It's weird. 2 nights before, I was coughing like crazy during lecture. There's no reason for that. So to crank it up too much is not necessarily helpful at all. It's not the solution. Anyway, you get in trouble and you figure things out. And that's how I learned. I learned because no one taught me. I basically had problems and I don't ask for help. And I'd sit there and I figure out what is it I can do to fix this. It's not a life ending. It's a fatal disease, but it's in the way of the work. All right. Anyone? Okay. We're in slide 1202. From this one, one should know that all tending towards stillness is merely pre-Dharma flower intention.
是知趣及皆是法华前意耳。
Okay. He's in the midst of talking about the 2 schools of Mahayana in India, the Dharma nature and Dharma marks. Don't worry about it, just know that there's such schools, and the fact you can hear the name, it's very, very good already, okay? Knowing more will not be that helpful towards your path, okay, in my opinion. So that's why, but it's very important to sort of have the background information so that we can compare Indian Buddhism versus Chinese Buddhism and so forth, and then American Buddhism. And so these 2 schools talk about there are a lot of monks and nuns, lots of Buddhist disciples who strive for stillness. Okay, they are the one stillness is no movement, quietude. Okay, and that's very desirable. Okay, but that's pre-Dharma flower talk. Meaning in the Buddha, when he spoke the Buddha Dharma to his disciples, he looked at them and decided on what's appropriate for them so that they don't get overwhelmed. Okay? So that's what you call gradual teaching. Okay? If it's too much, then people get discouraged, okay? And it's not enough, then you're not challenged enough. From this, and it said, the provisional certainly is transformation of the actual. Without the actual, whose transformation is it? Okay, so another concept in Mahayana is provisional teaching versus actual teaching. Provisional teaching is the 2 vehicles. The sound hearers vehicles, Pratyeka Buddhas, they practice and they are able to reach a state of extinction of the ego, which is very, very nice. When you get to that state, you're very happy. You are a special person if you can experience that. Okay, and so Buddha, when he first started teaching the human realm, he taught them the provisional, taught the Sri Lankans and the Indians the provisional teaching, and once, after years of teaching it, they accomplish arhatship and pratyeka Buddhahood. And after that, Buddha says, there's more if you're interested. So Buddha is very, very gentle, not judgmental at all. Keep that in mind. Our job is to help others, not to prove our superiority. Whatever can help them, others, we should do it. That's all. And so the Chinese like to say that the provisional is a transformation from the actual, or you could also say that the actual is the transformation of the provisional. What does it mean? Buddha has this pure Buddha Dharma, the Buddha vehicle Dharma. That is the ultimate teaching. Okay, but he wasn't there yet. His students wasn't there yet. They're not ready to accept his teachings. So he had to give them some provisional teaching, temporary teaching, if you will. Very much like you. When I first started teaching Chan to you, I can't talk to you about enlightenment in a big way. I just whet the appetite, but then it takes a lot. You need more time to process the information. Okay, and that's how you help others. You help others by looking at what their needs are, and whatever the needs are, Chan has a solution for it. Okay? And so the provisional, this teaching, like the Buddha taught the Hinayana people, the Arhats, they taught them about breathing, breath counting, mindfulness, meditation, and so forth. It's only an expedient. So it's a transformation of the actual teaching. It's not the real teaching. Okay, that's what it means. It's actually a transformation of the provisional is transformation of the actual. Furthermore, you could also say that the actual is a transformation of the provisional. That's what happened to the Buddha. You can look at it from both sides of the equation. If you do the provisional, you teach. That's what Buddha did. He taught them the provisional, helped them become sound hearers, pratyeka Buddhas, and so forth. And that's with the provisional Dharma. And then he guided them towards the actual. So the actual is actually a transformation of the provisional from your perspective. Okay? See, it's very scholarly. It's a lot of talk. Okay? And that's what scholars do. This is what they need to do to justify their research grants and get and sponsor their students. And so you see, it worked both ways. Provisional can be transformation of the actual. actual could be transformation from the provisional, right? So, and then that's Buddhism. It works both ways. It's never one-sided. 1205. Moreover, the Srimala Sutra says, if the dust come ones accord with what they like and expediently speaks,
又盛满经云：若如来随彼所欲而方便说。
1206. In this sutra, the Srimala Devi Sutra, the Buddha says it's only one vehicle, not two vehicles. Okay? And the only one vehicle is a Buddha vehicle where we all become Buddhas. Everything we do eventually leads us to become Buddhas. It's a matter of time. Okay? And so that's why before that, he says, when he talked about two vehicles, it's an expedient, that's all. (1207). That is the one vehicle, and there are no two vehicles. For the two vehicles enter the one vehicle.
其是一圣，无有二圣，二圣入于一圣。
Technical jargon. So this is proper terminology. You don't have to memorize it, but when you hear it again, you know what it's talking about. The two vehicles must return to one vehicles. Okay, so whatever you do for sound hearers, eventually they'll be led to the one vehicle, Buddha vehicle. Buddha never intended for his students to become arhats and pratyeka Buddhas only. It's always bigger picture in mind. Just because his students weren't told doesn't mean that it's not true. The one vehicle is just a vehicle in the primary sense. His intention is to clarify that it is according with the wishes and expediently that he speaks of the two vehicles.
一圣者，即第一义圣，此义名随欲方便而说二圣。
Okay, 1210. It's the one vehicle, the one Buddha vehicle, in the utmost truth, absolute truth, or primary sense, okay, is that whatever he spoke before he spoke the one Buddha vehicle, is only to prepare them for the one Buddha vehicle. That's all. Buddhas, when they teach, they use a lot of expedients. The great teachers all use a lot of expedients. This is why when I studied from under Master YongHua, I didn't believe what he was doing. I only believe in his dharmas, his dharma doors. Because whatever he says, it's not quite applicable to most people. One clearly knows that it is just the one vehicle, and there simply are not two.
明知即是一圣，无有二矣。
He reiterates here, Master Jingliang, he says the two vehicles, the sound hearer, the Pratyeka Buddha's vehicles, they actually are just a subset of the one vehicle. Okay? If one does not grasp its intention and connects the prior expediently with the following one vehicle in reading it, and abruptly determines that the one vehicle is expedient, one delusion simply is too deep.
不晓此意，将上方便，连下一圣而读之，则断一圣以为方便，获之甚矣。
I have to adapt. My throat is dry. I'm not coughing, I control my coughing, but I have to deal with my dry throat. It's never a boring day. So, Master Jingliang says, you should be clear about it. You should never think that the one vehicle is inexpedient. Never. Okay, this is very important. This is a very important emphasis. So whatever you do, just because you don't understand it, just because you don't get it, doesn't mean that you have to they should discard it. Okay? So you think that one vehicle is actually expedient, you are so wrong. Don't make that big mistake. The one vehicle is not expedient. And if you are Buddhist disciples and you keep on insisting that the Buddha, when he spoke of the one vehicle, he is simply using expedient, that is, you're so confused. Okay? This is important. Master Jingliang is a great scholar, he has great wisdom, so it's so important for him to make statements. This is what you monks and nuns have to learn from this. This is the experience. Some point in time, when you turn to speak Dharma, you shouldn't be afraid to be unpopular or to be criticized or slandered. Okay? You have to speak whatever you believe in. Okay? And that's what Master Jingliang was doing. Of course, he has more samadhi power than we are, but he says, take it from me, folks. This one Buddha vehicle is no expedient things, is a real deal, so cut it out. Don't listen to it. Don't go there. And what's interesting is that why is it important? Why does he keep on harping about the one vehicle? It's the ultimate, it's no expedient. Why is that? No one wants to venture a guess. Yes, DTT.
Master, I think it's because the Buddha want us to strive for the Buddhahood, don't stop in the middle, the way.
One more time.
The Buddha want us to practice to achieve the Buddhahood, not anything else less than that.
So what? We eventually get there. He says, all of us we will become Buddhists. It's a matter of time.
So that is the one vehicle teaching, right, Master?
One level what?
That's the one vehicle teaching.
Okay, there's one vehicle teaching. But actually, he's more personal than this. He said, you are so deluded. You are hopeless. He's insulting people. Yes, one.
I'll take a wild guess because this is way beyond me. One vehicle is the ultimate way that includes all expedience. If one vehicle is being considered another expedience, then it's like at the same level as the other, the two vehicle and the other expedience. That's like people will be losing the big picture and the direction.
Okay. Anyone else? Go first.
Master, if I may take a guess, I think maybe he's speaking to an audience. Maybe there was, at the time, maybe there was a lot of confused thoughts regarding the one vehicle and two vehicles, and he was maybe trying to clarify things for the people at the time.
One more time.
So, Master, my guess was that he was addressing the audience, particular audience. Maybe at the time of his writing, there was a lot of confusion about the one vehicle and two vehicles. So he was trying to clarifying things for people.
Why? Why clarify?
Well, I just think that since he talked about this,
You guys keep on talking in circles.
no, he talks about this because there were people need this information, this clarification. So that was just my guess.
Yeah, I appreciate when you enunciate a little bit more. Don't slur your words, Chinese person. Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. Diego Alfonso says, Emitofuo, Master, I think Hinayana people don't understand the huge difference between Pratyeka Buddha and Buddhahood, and that's why Master Qinglian emphasizes that.
Okay. Anyone else? These are practical reasons. Because it saves time. Once you walk into a Hinayana alley, you'll be stuck there for a long, long time. Because what's the danger of their process? The danger is that they think they know. versus Mahayana, we think we don't know. That's a big difference. There's so much we don't know in Mahayana. Whereas in Hinayana, all the Arhats, all the practical Buddhas says, I know about the principles of Hinayana teachings in the Pali store. I've seen them all. I researched them. I went for PhD in my university. And therefore, that's why you see a lot of these monks, especially the Mahatheras or the Sri Lankan monks, who, the name begins with Maha, whatever, Thera, okay, in their titles. If you're a monk, why do you need a title? It's just little things like that, it's off. Don't you think? Why is you attached to a label? I'm a Mahathera. He's not. Who cares? If you're Mahathera or you're not Mahathera, keep it to yourself. Yet always seeking recognition. And that's the pitfall you want to avoid. When you cultivate, you don't need people to recognize you. Okay? And this is what happens to a lot of Hinayana practitioners. They go into the practice and they got pretty good. I have some friends, Hinayana. Excuse me. One of which is ex-disciple of Master YongHua in my generation. He's pure Hinayana. And they call himself Mahayana because his master studies Avatamsaka Sutra. How can an Arhat understand the Avatamsaka Sutra? There's no telling him. He gets very offended. That's why once you got into that alley, the pathway, you'd be stuck for a long, long time. That's all you know. You're so self-satisfied. Okay? So that's why, yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. I just want to echo what you just said, because many of these Sanghas go to university. My personal experience is university, the academia is seeking recognition like crazy. It's almost everyone is even forced of doing that. And for example, if you want to get tenure, and then they will count how many papers you publish. If you want to go from associate professor to full professor, how many invited talks you have, and how many students you graduated. So all these are seeking recognitions. So if you are educated, get out of this pipeline, it's very hard not to be polluted by that kind of mindset.
Okay. One.
Master, I have a newbie question. What's the main difference between Hinayana and Mahayana? my understanding is that Hinayana people are mostly about personal freedom versus save everybody else, which limits their, the vow is small, which means that they are not inspired to become Buddha, but that's very, what's the main difference and how they behave differently from Mahayana cultivator? Thank you.
Hinayana is primarily seeking to end the ego. When you put an end to your ego, you feel very blissful, very happy. And so for these people, they see great results. Only problem is that once they got there, they're stuck with it. They don't move on. Whereas in Mahayana, we bring you to fourth-stage arhat. Sound here is a level as well, but we prepare you to go much further. So it's a matter of preparation. If you didn't know better, it's very much like you send your children to college and tell them to get a bachelor's degree and that's it. And get out, make a living. Whereas there's a lot more that can be learned, can be accomplished. Okay?
Master, can I ask a follow-up question? You also mentioned that, like Hinayana, Mahayana, that people study under Hinayana masters, but their primary motive and their behaviors are very Hinayana. What are the primary reasons that people will be stuck in Hinayana, even study under Mahayana masters? Thank you.
Yes, they're stuck in Hinayana because we, unlike us, we prepare you to go beyond. It is so critical. If you're not prepared to move on to bigger horizons, you will miss out on the big picture. Okay? And that's what happened to a lot of Hinayana people. They follow the Hinayana teachers and they're stuck there. Lifetime after lifetime. They're very loyal people. They're very loyal disciples. They're very devout. More so than you Mahayana people. Because they're very simple-minded. They said, my job is plant blessings. By giving you food, giving you whatever, help out the temple, that's it. Okay, so the Dharma is very straightforward. And so it's easier. Intellectually, it's more manageable. So that's why there's room for Hinayana, okay? And that's what we do as well. For some people, they come in and they said, hey, I don't want to have leg pains. I don't want to be bodhisattva. Okay? And so we teach you the Hinayana Dharma without telling you that actually we have hooks for you to move on. So it's all about the big picture. It's so damaging. I feel so sad that so many people I respect and admire, including my Thai friends, my friends at Master Srinhua's temples, they're all stuck because they're not prepared for it. So these people, this guy here, he's a second stage arhat. He's going to be there for a long, long time. He's a long-time disciple of Master YongHua. I used to go and see him more often, but now I don't have time anymore because ultimately he doesn't listen anymore. I realize that he says, I'm the real disciple, you're not. I put up with you only out of pity, out of compassion, but I know what I'm doing. Okay? Whereas Master Ching Liang, he says, I have wisdom. I've seen, I have the big picture in mind, and therefore you should not stick with the two vehicle. Have to go to one vehicle. So most likely this would befall on deaf ears primarily, but it still has to be spoken. Just because people don't want to listen doesn't mean we can't say it. And this is why I'm a little bit confused about Master YongHua's approach. That he would encourage his monks and nuns to get PhDs in Buddhology. Some good programs, Wisconsin, Berkeley, and so forth. And I was impressed, but after 25 years of watching them, what have they done? What have they contributed to Mahayana, to the knowledge of Buddhology? And when you have a PhD in academia, there's a commitment that you say, I commit to advancing the knowledge. It's my personal commitment. So much more is the case if you're a monk or nun. It's your responsibility. After all this time, they go and shake hands, attend conferences. I went to such conferences myself. You get 3,000 people getting together in Taipei and do rara meetings, and each temple, to support the association, they would give $5,000, $10,000. I was there, I was poor, so I could have nothing to give. But it's an old boys network. And even if you get into the network, it's theirs. It's not much you can do. Because they control the publication on your paper. They throw it out, they don't like it. They say, how come you talk about these things that are not founded? What do you know about ghosts? What do you know about demons? What do you know about dragons? That's why they never dare talk about those beings. So you have to compromise. What for? This is my problems. We don't have to please everyone. We have to be true to ourselves. It's about you. If you are able to get it, and you get some great benefits from it, then it's time well spent. We're not worried about whether it's more subscriptions, views, or so forth. It doesn't matter. time will come after I die, and then your turn to start the work. That's when people will come and step up and say, we missed out on this one. Let's take care of his disciples. Okay? It's so tough to be a patriarch. You got to feel for him. Now, he has so much to deliver, not a whole lot of support. And when he was becoming famous, they started giving him a lot of temples in San Francisco, city 10,000 Buddhas. The asset base was growing very rapidly. And one of his senior disciples came to him and said, I memorized the Avatamsaka Sutra. Do you make me a patriarch? Seriously? You memorize a sutra so that you can become a patriarch? It's things like that you don't do. Things like that, he should have told them, cut it out. There's no room for that. Do not allow it to grow. It's unbecoming of a Mahayana practitioner. You know? Anyway, he has his own needs, have his own challenges. I'm lucky. I'm not a patriarch. I can't care less for patriarchs. So we're free and at ease. Excuse me. Furthermore, within that sutra, it extensively demolishes the two vehicles, stating that they do not have nirvana.
又比经中广破二圣，云无涅槃。
Commentary slide. Here in the sutra, the Buddha categorically denies that there's nirvana, no such a thing. Okay? So, during the Agama teaching, he says you can work hard to attain permanence, bliss, true self, and purity. But once you get to the Mahayana range, that's why he says that nirvana there is no such a thing. I'm not taking any chances. I'm hoping I can sleep tonight. I still have 2 more lectures. Whatever we have is impermanent. When you become a Buddha, when you become enlightened, you'll be there. You reach a state where it's permanent. It's always there. Okay? Bliss. Bliss is so blissful, a lot more blissful than people realize. And this is why his disciples, they can handle a lot of hardship, because when they need to, when they get in trouble, they get into samadhi, enter this samadhi, and they'll feel very blissful. There's no depression. There's no more pain, believe it or not. True self. True self as opposed to your false self. Your false self is that one that has an ego. Your true self has no ego. When a person has a false self, everything he does is for his false self. No two ways about it. You don't want to hear this, do you? Finally, is purity. Purity means that you're free from all afflictions. People come and yell at you, you're not afflicted. People praise you, you're not afflicted. They'll give you a good amount of money, you're not impressed. I would be impressed, but you shouldn't be impressed. Remember, because I'm the one who has to worry about money, you don't. Okay? Chapter 18. It further says, the sutra cuts off all doubts and is one absolute and final meaning, the entry to the way of the one vehicle. So how could it be saying the one vehicle is expedient?
又云此经断一切疑，决定了义，入一圣道，岂说一圣以为方便？
So he's making an argument that the one vehicle is the only vehicle that matters, is not expedient. And if it did have expedient speech, would still be before the Dharma flower, besides which it hasn't any, has it?
设有方便之言，尚在法华之前，况复无耶？
In Buddhism, this is the most important sutra, the Dharma Flower Sutra, or Lotus Sutra. It says there, all of you can become Buddhas. Buddha confirms it. Whether you like it or not, you will become a Buddha. Because you heard of it in this environment where that is being fostered. Okay? Just talk, we don't talk too much. Ultimately, we need to do things to bring you great benefits. That's all that matters. The Dharma flower says the sutra is hard to believe and hard to understand, since even while the Buddha is in the world, it incurs much hatred and jealousy. How much more will be so after his crossing to extinction? How true its words are.
法华云：此经难信难解，佛现在世，犹多怨疾，愿记况灭度后，成灾思言。
Okay. It sounds too good to be true, especially to the Hinayana people. He says, just because you acknowledge a Buddha, you will become a Buddha. Buddha says, guaranteed. Okay? So because of that, the opposition when the Buddha is in the world came from within his own Sangha, the own Sanghas, where they felt threatened. And that they had to cut him down, and he had to incur jealousy of his own disciples and his and the externalists. Okay, and that's how it is. When you do something important, you have to be prepared to pay the price. And don't be afraid. You don't need to be afraid. Bring it on. That's our attitude. Okay? Bring on your hatred. Bring on your jealousy. 1224. That's because it speaks doctrine that's too wonderful about how every living being has a Buddha nature and is capable of becoming Buddhas. Therefore, how much the more it will be so after his crossing into extinction. And the great master Qingyang says how true the words are in that sutra. Okay, so Buddha knew it already. Okay, being a monk is not a popularity contest. We do the things that we're supposed to do to benefit others, not to be accepted, not to be, what's the word? Well, you'll come whenever, okay? So after the Buddha died, he went to extinction. So a lot of obstructions in his disciples talking the Dharma. But at the time, there were a lot of monks who were willing to speak their minds, because back then, the monks and nuns have a lot of blessings. They're not worried about acceptance, not worried about fame and profit. Okay? Anyone who clings to the 3 vehicles and 5 natures and does not believe in 1 vehicle and 1 nature is deeply pitiable.
若保持3圣5性，不信1圣1性者，深为可悯。
Okay. There's some people, especially Buddhist disciples, and there's quite a few of them. Because right now, Hinayana is more prevalent than Mahayana. You go to Europe, it's practically predominantly Hinayana. Yes or no? because all the materials in all the suttas, were translated from Pali into English. That's why I learned. And they lucky that their sutra teaching is not very profound, so it doesn't matter. Accuracy doesn't matter that much. But the Hinayana clings to the three vehicles, a lot of these people, not just Hinayana, but also a lot of these people who think so highly of themselves. They think that they're bodhisattvas, they're better bodhisattvas, and the Hinayana think they're real arhats, they have true liberation. I remember a long time ago, I went to this Thai temple. It was a long, long time ago. And at the time, the old monk was about I don't remember anymore. Somehow escaped my mind. So this monk here, what he does is he takes good care of his followers. So he would heal them, give them blessings and heals them. And so we watch him bestow blessings upon his visitors, and then when he was done, he would stand up and walk away. And then he would look at the old abbot, and he says, "You're not well physically. I can fix it for you." I think that I remember now. At the time, his XC was already beyond fourth stage Arhat. That's why I wanted him to go there and take a look at this so-called high-level Sangha from the land of Thailand. And so he would massage his back and to the old monk. So he asked him, "You feel good?" Yeah, it really helps. Then he looked at me, the Thai monk, a Thai monk friend of ours, looked at me and said, "Would you like me to do it for you?" Okay. And then he came over to me, and then he decided to back off. These people, they have no clues. He would come to our temple and send his underlings of a fourth stage Arhat disciple of his to test me out. I was teaching at Lu Mountain Temple our Saturday morning chant class. So he would come to us for a visit, send his successor, I guess, to come and sit with me. And along with 2, maybe 3 more Thai monks, and they were actually testing me out. So the 3 of them ganged up on me. And this is what monks do, folks. It's no big deal. You go to Master Shewa temples, they do this too. The only thing that we don't do is here. We find it to be offensive to attack someone, to show that you're better. If you're better, you take a look. You should know you're better already. You don't need to attack anyone. Okay? So anyway, this is what happens to the people, the monks and nuns out there. They are constantly testing each other out. I send you to CTTB, they'll beat you up. I sent her to CTTB a long time ago, 12 years ago. She came back and said, it really hurts. I said, yeah, you were only 6th samadhi. No wonder they hurt you. And he said, this is mean. You don't do that to people. So, no, that's what they do to each other constantly, every day. It's just no manners. Yes, in the back.
Master, I remember that you invited those venerables to have lunch with us at Lumayan Temple. Mm-hmm. And at one point, I saw that the monk smacked the table and walked out. I don't know what happened. What does it mean at that time, where he just smacked the table and he just walked out right away?
Mm-hmm. Whatever. We're too busy having lunch. You don't feel like having lunch? It's your choice. It's all in good fun and good times. Don't worry about it. Okay? But after that, he never tested us again. Ever. He would not dare touch me. I said, yeah, fix my back. He said, it's okay, I will not touch you. Touch me all you want. Okay. Yes, one.
Master, what's the third vehicle? What is five nature and what is one Buddha seed nature? I just don't understand this slide at all. Thank you.
Yeah, it's coming right here. We will explain shortly. Okay? So the three vehicles, meaning Arhat vehicle, Pratyeka Buddha vehicle, and Bodhisattva vehicle. Even the Bodhisattvas, Buddha says, it's not the real deal. Okay, don't be so proud of yourself. Five natures are the three nature, the three Arhats, nature one, fixed nature Arhat, fixed nature Pratyeka Buddha, fixed nature Bodhisattva. That's three. Number four, they have no Buddha nature. Okay, and number five, indeterminate. It will be clearer next time. Okay. And the one Buddha seed nature is that it says that see, we are here and we're talking about this for about an hour and a half now. And it's planting the seeds for you to have the one Buddha seed nature. Someone has to make it happen for you. Therefore, in part 2 of the 100th Analogy Sutra, the analogy of the king changing the village 5 yojanas to 3 yojanas is an analogy of expediently speaking of the one as 3.
故百喻经第2中，王改聚落5由旬为3由旬，欲以喻方便，于一说三。
Okay. I I'm not sure I want to have enough time to go into this. This is a lot of stuff. Okay, I have 5 minutes. In that analogy, 100 Analogies Sutra, it's kind of light duty sutra. It's good to read. Okay, you can use. He says that the Dharma of the one vehicle is to teach people whose students are more limited, and therefore he needs to split them up into 3 vehicles. Okay, and the analogy in sutra is like the king changing the village. It's 5 yojanas to 3 yojanas. What does it mean? The king's capital city was 5 yojanas away from a certain village who has Fiji water. And so back then in India, they measured by yojanas, okay, either 40 lees, 60 lees, or 80 lees. A lee is about a third of an English mile. Okay, so basically it's about 200 miles away. And the king wanted the water, so commanded them to bring him the water every day. And the villagers got together and said, you know, it's too far. It's not bad enough. It's bad enough that we have to give him water, deliver water to him, but actually it's very long distance. Okay, so the mayor came up with an experience. He said, I tell you what, let me go see the king and tell him that we will only deliver 3 yojanas, not 5 yojanas. So 3 yojanas is a lot closer, isn't it? So everyone agreed. So the mayor said, okay. He went to see the king, and the king said, okay, as long as I get the water, why not? So the mayor said, Your Highness, you need to send out a decree to us, to our village, for us to bring you the water from our village to the capital city, which is 3 yojanas away. And so, and the king says, whatever it takes for me to get you good water, and people are not unhappy, why not? And because the king has credibility, his words count for something, and therefore the villagers who are not that well educated, so they believe that it's only 3 yojanas. So that's the analogy. Now, the king only had to change the 5 yojanas to 3 yojanas. Okay, and that's an expedient to divide the one vehicle is into 3 vehicles. That's all. All right. Questions and comments? Yes, 9.
네, thank you, Master. 약삽을 제가 본 약삽은 이제 파란색이랑 어우러져 있는 것들이 많았는데 위패는 왜 빨간색인지 궁금합니다.
Master, Medicine Master Buddha's color is blue, but why the plaque of Medicine Master Buddha is red?
Red, that's from a Chinese. Chinese And for the Chinese, red is yang, is positive. And it represents goodness, represents blessings, good fortunes. That's why. So it's an expedient for us to use different colors to help people get the point quickly. Okay? Yes, one.
Master, I saw there are 7 different kind of Master Medicine Buddha statues, and they actually have 7 different names of Rulai. In the Master Medicine Buddha that we are most familiar with, the blue, is only the 7th one. Who are the other 6?
I have no idea. Each culture have their own different idiosyncrasies. All I care about is I found something from the Chinese that works very well for us. I'm happy. I don't need to know everything. Okay? Doesn't matter. Okay? It's a Dharma that is helpful for all of us. My experience has been. So that's why it's good enough. Don't have to worry about the actual images or the other 6 statues and so forth. And you know what? Eventually, we probably will learn more. I don't know everything. To be honest with you, when I first started teaching medicine Master Buddha Dharma, it's because I copied Master YongHua's process. I imitated him. So I copied everything. Okay? But the difference was that we were able to deliver. And they don't. That's all. Especially for Westerners. They need results. They need concrete results. You can't talk. See, you Chinese people, faithfully, I used to go to Chinese temples. I remember $20 million temple in Irvine. Baofa, I think, in Irvine. And the master now is dead. He has 1 hall for rebirth, 1 hall for medicine master. So I walked into the 2 halls. I was doing a lot of research, going everywhere. And they have all sorts of pink paper plaques, what the Chinese use. And then yellow paper plaques for rebirth. And we found that I asked those people, does it work for you? Because I'm thinking of getting one. He says, no. I said, why not? Because we're supposed to support the temple. It's so Chinese. So the Chinese Dharma now is based on tradition. They come, and if they want to support the temple, they buy a rebirth plaque, they buy a medicine master plaque. That's it. Expecting really not much. Isn't that interesting? There's a sort of blind faith. I won't go with the Caucasians and you young people. We stop here tonight. Thank you.